What's up guys, today I'm going to show you how to do this crazy rotating background effect. I think it looks very cool. Before we start, we are uploading every single day for the month of July, so make sure to subscribe so that you don't miss out on any sauce. Without further ado, let's get straight into the video. Alright, so here's the clip we're going to use. The first thing we want to do, as pretty much always for most effects, is to rotobrush our subject. For the first time in a while, I'm not gonna do the rotoscoping part with you guys because there are so many tutorials out there, and if you follow my videos at this point, you know how to rotoscope, so we're gonna skip this part. So once you're done rotoscoping, you should have your subject right here isolated. The first effect we're gonna do is we're gonna press R to go into the rotation properties, and we're gonna click on the stopwatch to keyframe it, and then at the 1 second timestamp, we're gonna make it do a full round. So now we should have this.
But what the hell?
So as you can see, it's looking pretty bad. That's what I'm here for. Don't worry. What we're gonna do is activate motion blur. So now you should have this. Still looks bad. That's totally fine. We're gonna go into effects and presets, and we're gonna type CC Reptile. That is gonna allow us to expand the borders. Let's type 1000 for the right, left, down, and up. Do that. There we go. And we're gonna make the tiling unfold. And now we should have this. So now as you can see, we don't have any weird black borders anymore. However, it's not really dynamic, and that's because of the velocity of the keyframes. So what we're gonna do is select these keyframes and press F9 to ease the keyframes. And now we're gonna get something smoother. There we go. So that is an acceptable animation. If you're of like intermediate level in After Effects, that is something you know of to ease your keyframes, but we're gonna go a step further. We're gonna select those, and then we're gonna go into the graph editor. We're gonna add some more anticipation to the effect. So let's make it something like this. And now it's gonna start off slow, and then it's gonna have a peak in velocity and then slow again. So it's gonna look like this. As you can see, that looks much better in my opinion. So now to that layer, we're also gonna add the effect optics compensation. We're gonna play with the distortion a bit. We're gonna keyframe this at the beginning. Make sure to have this checked, reverse lens distortion. And then at the middle, we're gonna make it something like 138. And then let's put it back to 0 at the end. Then press U to go into all of our keyframes, and let's ease those. However, now, as you might see, that looks pretty smooth, but we're not really seeing the effect like we should, in my opinion. So what we're gonna do, we're gonna select these two keyframes. We're gonna make it peak at the beginning a bit. So before it gets that huge spike of rotating, we're gonna see the optics compensation effect more, as you can see right here. Really, most of it is just what you like the most. This is what I think looks cool, so that's why I did it. So now we have this. And now we're gonna add to it by duplicating the background layer. Let's press U, and we're gonna remove the optics compensation. And for the rotation, we're not gonna change the timing of the keyframes, but we're gonna change the actual value. So let's make it 1 at the beginning and 0 at the end. So that means it's gonna rotate in the other way. But now we can see the layer under. That is perfectly normal. What we're gonna do is we're gonna create a star-shaped mask. Let's do that right here. There we go. And let's remove the reptile effect so that we don't get those weird borders right here. And now we should have this. So now we just added onto our effect. It looks pretty cool, the star going in the other way. And now what we could do next is zoom the entire scene and then make it come back. So the most simple way to do this is creating a new adjustment layer. But if we try and scale these, as you can see, it's not gonna do anything. That is because it's just changing the scale of the adjustment layer. What we're gonna do though is apply a transform effect. That way when we change the settings in there, it's actually gonna change the scale. So let's go to the beginning. Let's keyframe this. Let's make this 130, and then at the end, let's make it 100. And then we're gonna ease those keyframes. Let's look at what we have. So that looks pretty cool. We can even make the background flicker if we want. That is just details that's gonna add some more sauce to it. So let's go into exposure. Let's make the exposure something like 0.5, and then let's do alt click, right wiggle, parentheses, and then this is the amount of times it's gonna happen per second, so 12 times, and then let's write 5. However, we want it to stop at the end, so what we're gonna do is actually duplicate the background layer once again, and the background below, we're gonna remove the exposure effect, and now all we gotta do when the animation stops, we can just put the opacity down so that it goes to the original state. Let's see. There we go. We're actually very close to our final result, but we're gonna add some more energy to it by adding a shake. So for this segment, I'm gonna use my brand new camera shake pack. It's 20 plus drag and drop presets that are made to add energy to your edits and enhance them. But if you're not ready to make the investment, you don't have to stress, because I'm actually gonna show you how to make one from scratch using Sapphire. Let's create a new adjustment layer. We can call it shake, and then we're gonna apply Sapphire shake. And then at the beginning, we're gonna make it 0 for the amplitude. Command right. Let's activate the motion blur. Let's make the frequency 16. Let's go a couple frames back and put it back to 0. There we go. Let's ease the keyframes, and then we go in the graph editor, and we can make the curve something like this. I put the amplitude to 4 instead. Now let's see. So now we get this sort of shake. So if you feel like saving time, I actually made the camera shake pack for you, and I'm going to show you how to use it. So now we're just going to type FF, that stands for friendly files, my website. And now we have these 20 presets right here. One I like a lot, and I think would fit in this situation would be vertical hit. And now we're actually going to delay it right here so that it hits right at the beginning. And then in a matter of seconds, we have our shake right here and our final sequence as well. Let's have a look at it. So if you guys want to invest in your editing workflow and copying camera shake pack, it'll be available in the description, and I have an exclusive offer for you guys as well, so make sure to go and check it out. With that said, thank you so much for watching. If you learned something today, and if this video brought you any value, please consider subscribing, and please let me know in the comments what type of tutorials you would like me to cover next. If you still feel like learning, you can watch this video right there, and I'll see you guys in the next one. Peace.